kids around here, the skills that are involved in cannabis, processing, doing extractions and distillation, growing, that's a lot. That's a market, man. This is an industry growing. That's a lot of skill.
It's a lot of stuff to learn.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff to learn.
Well, and too, it's now that's one more thing that those without a higher degree can get into and not be broke. Like something that can actually make them a really good living. Just by being a hard worker and eager to learn.
Yeah, it's something the government doesn't want though.
That is true, but you know what, man? Cash rules, really? And they're seeing how much. I think now that people ideology, all the way from whether it's religion to anti-drugs to a lot of stuff. People are becoming way less ideological and way more bottom line involved. So even a guy like Trump and his administration. I mean, that was a fight between him and a guy like Sessions. Sessions was ideologically driven, and Trump is anti-drug, but he's so pro-money that his war. I'm not going to say they don't have a war on cannabis right now. The Trump administration does have a war. It's behind the scenes. Where you're going to find that is a lot with customs and stuff. During the Obama era, man, even though it wasn't even recreationally legal in most states, I had never had anything seized in customs. No packaging, no nothing. And then now in the Trump era, funny enough, I've had a few shipments seized of my packaging and stuff. Yeah, it's my pens, a few of them. So they're fighting a little bit of a covert war on the state, on the state marijuana industries. But it's, overall, I think everybody and politicians and all the people involved are starting to realize they're not getting their cut. It's a huge industry that makes a lot of money, and they're not getting their piece. And they want to change that. I think most people in politics want to change that. I just don't think too many politicians want to make it their main platform and die on that sword.
Sure.
So I just think that's why something hasn't happened yet.
Well, I have one question for you. Beside the first question.
Yeah.
One main question. Obviously, you're familiar with what we're doing with this documentary.
Yeah, sure.
And the community gets to make the decisions about what makes the feature and what music gets into the film. If you could pick one topic, just one topic, what would it be that gets into the film?
One topic for the film. Man, that's a hard choice.
It's a hard choice.
Especially for me, man. You just saw, you asked me one question, and I hit 5 different topics. I got a lot to say on everything. Shoot, man. That's hard because I would say just because I'm a socially minded type of guy, I would say talking about, the culture, minorities in the industry, access to access to the industry, with minorities and people who don't have, so much capital to work with. Also the divide right now too, because one thing that I saw in California that happened was there's a lot of people there's a lot of rich people who got into the game because they could and they had the money. And there was just one guy that when we were kind of looking for our situation recreationally, he had built this lab, whole nine, thought it was just going to be easy, because that's what wealthy people for some reason just think, that this industry is just easy as hell, and I got it, I'm gonna just build this. He built this lab, put all this money into it, and then couldn't run it for shit, and couldn't make any money off of it, because he didn't have the right people doing it. So, that's when he reached out to me and tried to figure that out. And then I've had a lot of people and investors, when I was looking for capital, turn me down because of my record. They look me up and they're like, oh, well, you're this and that. I'm like, I'm the guy you're looking for, man. You already saw in that article, I built a $6 million operation. It says it in the article. So in any other type of light, I would be the guy that investors are looking for, right? But because that resulted in, you know, charges and seizure and
bureaucrats at the top were fighting over some bullshit, and you were, you know,
they just have the wrong idea. They just have the wrong idea. You know, you want to invest in veterans of the war on drugs when it comes to cannabis. We've been there. We know the plant. We know what to do with it. There's no other industry in this world that people would invest so heavily in people who have not done years of this already. You know what I'm saying? Like, investors here, oh, I've been growing for 20 years. Oh man, you were in the black market, you were growing for cartels, you were on the street. I don't want to invest in you. Why?
Right.
You're talking about any other industry. If you said, I have 20 years experience in this industry, right? They'd be like, oh, you are the perfect guy to invest in.
Let's get it.
But they're like, oh, you're a criminal. I don't want to invest in criminals.
That's a beautiful topic to talk about. I think
that's an important topic because there are so many people who were making their living and all off the black market and are now looking to go into the light, you know, and do this legally. However, because they may have records, you know,